Okay, I bought a 17-inch model of Lenovo Legion 5 on 12th of March and returned it back to the store 2 days later because it had an issue that made this laptop impossible to use at all. Exactly 1 month later, I got my hands on 15-inch model, and another 39 days later, I sold it for good because of one thing that is crucial for me, and this laptop couldn't deliver it. I paid for 17-inch model a lot of money. It was 1400 USD. I paid this much money for it, brought it home, installed latest drivers, updated BIOS, installed programs I use, and started to use it. I was using Surface Laptop and Surface Pro for a long time, and especially for me, this 17-inch Lenovo Legion felt really big, like huge and heavy. And it felt fast too, again compared to Surface. Huge, heavy and fast. Because of its size, I guess, keyboard deck is also felt spacious with the keyboard itself in the middle and a lot of free real estate by its side. In the same time, I didn't feel entirely comfortable with this keyboard deck. It was too high above the table or the keyboard was too close to the screen. Anyway, I liked how fast it is and I liked the size of its screen. I was using it whole day, the day I bought it, and in the evening I finished what I was working on, closed the lid and went to sleep. Next day, when I decided to continue my work, I opened the lid and there was nothing in there, just a blank desktop to welcome me. I checked the Windows update first, because in the cases like this, it is usually the main perpetrator, but no updates were installed. Weird, I thought, and went back to the thing that I was working on. After a while, I went out somewhere, and when I got back and opened the lid, you guessed, nothing was in there. Just an empty desktop. I opened some random stuff, closed the lid, and started to observe. That thing just shamelessly restarted right in front of me without waiting me to step outside the door. Yes, the laptop was restarting by itself. I checked Windows updates, I checked BIOS, I checked latest drivers, everything seemed okay. I checked power management, whatever, I checked everything, and then I started to Google it, and the problem is widespread. A lot of people on the internet tell that their Legion 5 was restarting by itself. I tried everything that those people were suggesting me to do, but nothing helped, of course. There's only one option left, is to reinstall Windows completely on a new laptop I just bought yesterday. And then I thought, like, why? Why would I pay so much money for the something and then waste a lot of time trying to figure out what's wrong with it? I want to buy something, I want to bring it home, I want to unbox it, and I want to start to use it without worrying that my data could be gone, that I can lost everything that I was working on, that every time I open the lid there will be an empty desktop and I have to set everything up again. And of course it is frustrating and breaks the workflow really bad. If you know that you have to set everything up again, even though you are sure that your data is safe, it's unacceptable. And for me, it's just a waste of time. So it went back to the store. When I returned it, I was just sitting in the mall, thinking that I kinda liked how fast and big that thing was, and moved by the feelings towards this inanimate product of power engineering, I decided to give Legion 5 a second chance, and 1 month later I had my 15-inch in my hands. For a 15-inch I paid 900 USD. It had a 1660 Ti instead of 2060 and 256 gigs of storage instead of 512. I set everything up again, unbox it of course first. It was a completely new, like a 17-inch. I'm the one who was using it first, so there is no chance that somebody messed everything up before me. I'm the one who messed everything up. Anyway, I installed everything I need, updated BIOS, installed the latest drivers, basically made this laptop the way I want this laptop to be. Installing drivers though was really easy. You just go to the official website, put your serial number in there, and there they are. You just download it, install it, and you are good to go. Installing BIOS is pretty simple as well. You download the tool, install it, run it, and wait. There are no need for any external drives like it's supposed to be. You can charge your device via USB port on the left side of this laptop, which is cool because it makes one less charging brick under your table. At first I didn't get why would I need this laptop to tell me that USB port is USB port indeed, but a little bit later my stupid ass realized that this way I can plug stuff into it without lifting out of the chair, if there is enough light of course, since it doesn't have a backlight. 2021 Lenovo Legion 5 does have a backlight, which makes it even more convenient. Ethernet jack is pretty weird, it was just sliding off the port itself. The same cable worked fine with a Surface dock, but with the Legion 5 it just wasn't holding in there. I tried another cable, it was fine, but I already had about 15 meters of cable going from my router into the laptop, so I decided not to replace it. Too much hassle for one cable. So if you need a Ethernet cable, and you're probably gonna need it, since it's supposed to be a gaming laptop and you're supposed to game on it, and again, using only Wi-Fi, not entirely the experience you want to get. Especially if you live in some crowded areas with a lot of Wi-Fi spots available. And in the evening, especially when everybody's at home, it's gonna be just impossible to get a reliable and fast internet connection, wirelessly of course. So keep in mind that there's a possibility that you're gonna need another cable. And now, a really annoying thing. 17-inch model does have a card reader, 15-inch model does not. I do not know why, but it doesn't have a card reader. There's a lot of space inside, really a lot of space, and I do not believe that they couldn't put it in there because of some space limitations or whatever. So if you are using SD cards, you are going to need a dongle. The keyboard has a dedicated calculator button, probably to count some kill-death ratio or something, and there's some weird stuff going on with function keys in general. I'm not sure if I figured it out completely, but for example, when I press a function lock key, this LED turns on, and I can adjust my brightness and volume without holding the function key itself. But in the same time, if let's say I want to make a screenshot of the active window, I need to use Alt and print screen, right? Two keys. But it won't work. I still need to hold the function key. But in the same time, print screen will work. So basically, if your combination is two or more keys, you will need to press function key anyway, even if it's locked, even if LED is on, which is kinda confusing as for me. Maybe I didn't get something. Please let me know in the comments below. Even more annoying stuff on the way. On the 5th day of my acquaintance with this laptop, W key decided to start getting stuck. I was really angry since it is the second Lenovo laptop which had something that was making this laptop unusable. I mean, it's a W key on the gaming laptop and you cannot game on it. It is weird and it makes you angry if you buy something new and it has any issues which make your experience really bad. I kind of figured it out. I made a video about this issue and why I think this happened. And again, this problem is widespread. A lot of people experiencing it. I'm not sure honestly if this kind of fix going to be work for you, but anyway, you can try if you have the same issue as I did. Keyboard itself is pretty nice to type on. It's really soft and sound is nice, apart from the sound when keyboard was getting stuck, of course. Anyway, I liked this keyboard. Not liked, but I liked it. In the light, its logo just shines with every color of the rainbow, which is cute, but who cares? Bezels are pretty small, ugly looking. I mean, those plasticky, flimsy bezels. At the same time, they're not on the same level with the display itself. So expect dust and dirt or whatever get under the bezels, so it's gonna be a nightmare to clean everything out. There are 3 LEDs on the keyboard. Left one is a function lock, as I mentioned already. Right one is a numpad on and off key, and the middle one is a LED indicator that indicates which performance mode you're using. Silent is a blue, auto mode is a white and bright, and performance mode red. And all 3 of them are extremely bright and annoying.
Your voice. What's a bad idea? Agitating that. These monsters can't be reasoned with. I'll sit back down before I put a hole through you. I'm not gonna.
They're pretty distracting. Of course, you can turn off num-lock key, since you probably do not need to use a numpad anyway while watching movies and playing games. And the left one you can turn off as well, but you need to adjust brightness and volume to comfortable levels beforehand, since it's gonna be not really comfortable to adjust it when it's really dark. But you cannot turn off the middle LED. At least I couldn't find a way to do this. And if you know, please let me know. I resolved this problem. It's like a different way. I used a good old insulating tape. 3 layers worked charm for me. Another annoying thing is that though it is considered to be user upgradable, it is pretty hard to upgrade it. The point is, while you are trying to get inside, you can break, you probably will, those plasticky little thingies that hold battery cover in its place. I broke a couple of them on both 17-inch and 15-inch models. And more annoying stuff. Well, that sausage looking thing on the power cable just getting hooked constantly by the edges of the table. And you need to lift your laptop really high above so it won't happen and you can freely adjust position of the laptop. But actually that sausage looking thing is called ferrite bead, and it is used to suppress high frequency noise. In the same time, it could be an indicator that the cable itself is a cheap and bad quality, since good ones have a shielding which prevents this high frequency noise to appear in the first place. And now to display hinges. Well, they're making clicking noises. Honestly, I do not know how long they are going to last. I do not trust them completely. They seem cheap, they seem flimsy, like the whole laptop itself. They probably will not last long. If I had to guess, it is the reason why you can open the lid on 180 degrees. You just will not tear off the lid out of the base with one reckless movement trying to open the lid in a rush. That thing does not support CPU undervolting, which is unfortunate of course, but it is a trend recently. I got an update on my Surface Pro which blocked undervolting on my Intel CPU. I don't know why manufacturers do this, probably for the sake of user of course. It was a nice way to get some free performance, and
it's gone.
They are blocking this ability for us to make our laptops quieter and cooler. The laptop itself is silent when you do not do much, but when you do something on it, it gets pretty loud. Usually you use headphones anyway during your game sessions or while you're watching movies, but there are also some types of workload where you need nice and fast laptop with a good calculation power, and there is no need to use the headphones. So in this case, you're going to be annoyed really bad, and you're just going to wait until it's over. It can get loud, it can get hot, and if you put your laptop like this when you're rendering something or whatever, it gets really quiet, like really quiet. What it can tell us? It can tell us that there is not enough air comes into the inside of laptop to make it cooler. So it gets really loud when it just sits on the table. So if you are going to need some calculation power and you're going out somewhere, or you just do not need to use it, put it like this and you are going to be happy with the result. Next up is SSD. Stock one is pretty slow. Well, probably for some people it's going to sound weird, those speeds are slow, but comparing, for example, with a 980 Pro, it was slow. So I used stock one. For some stuff I do not need to access really fast, and use the 980 Pro as the main drive. But if you probably noticed, it kept at 3.5 gigs because it does not have a PCIe Gen 4 support, which is really weird and frustrating. And in the same time, it is good for Intel, because 11th gen Intel CPUs, laptop CPUs, do have PCIe Gen 4 support, which is really cool and can be deciding factor if someone buys this laptop or not, especially those people to whom fast storage is crucial. There is some weird stuff with TDP. Out of the box, 2060 model of 15-inch has a 1 and 15 watts TDP. 17-inch model kept at 85 watts, which is really weird. And again, if you do not know that this problem exists, your laptop is going to be underperform. Of course, you just can flash VBIOS and it's going to be 115 watts. But according to Lenovo itself, flashing VBIOS does void your warranty. Pick your poison, I guess. There is also possibilities that something will go wrong and you just can break your laptop completely. I was using a Surface Pro and Surface laptop for a really long time. And those things, especially Surface Pro, are really portable. There is an accessory called a Surface Dock, and you can connect everything to it. It just goes down to only one cable. You plug it in and everything is plugged in. Your external mouse maybe, your external keyboard for some reason, external monitors, some storage, or whatever you need. Just one single cable. And the Surface Pro itself weighs 1100 grams with the keyboard. And these two things make Surface Pro really portable. It's not just you can bring it somewhere with you. It's so portable to the extent that I wanted to bring it somewhere, like going to university. Yes, of course you can, it's so lightweight. You have a doctor appointment? Why not? While waiting in line, you just can do some useful stuff and just unplugging it for the sake of holding it in hands, just to appreciate how nice it feels. Just one single cable. You can connect it just while standing up from a chair. One magnetic cable. I just wanted to bring it somewhere with me. I just wanted to use it somewhere, not on the table. Sometimes I was just standing up and wander around my place, watching some videos or maybe reading something. It's so portable, I cannot emphasize enough. With the Legion 5, it is a completely different story. Well, 15-inch model weighs 2.5 kilos, 17-inch model weighs 3 kilos without chargers, and they're really heavy, they're huge. Not only that, also the amount of cables you need to connect and disconnect. Power cable, and the power cable is pretty tight. External mouse, probably. External keyboard, maybe. External display for some people. Ethernet jack. There's a lot of cable to connect and disconnect. It is so annoying to the extent that I didn't want to do this at all. The whole time it was just sitting there at my table. Whole time while I was using it. I didn't want to bring it with me on the sofa just to watch some movies or videos or whatever, which I usually do with my Surface, just unplug one cable again. Anyway, that thing is huge, a lot of cables to disconnect, and I didn't want to bring it somewhere. It is really big. Of course, occasionally you can bring it somewhere, especially if you do not plug that much stuff into your laptop. Anyway, it is not that Surface type of device. You can unplug it every second and bring it to another room because you feel more comfortable working there. From my point of view, if only a thought that you have to carry your device somewhere makes you uncomfortable, means that this device is not portable enough to call it portable. Not only that, but also amount of stuff that you connect and disconnect defines if it's portable or not. And if it feels like it should be chilling on the table instead of being your companion every single time you leave the house. It is a not laptop, it is a desktop replacement, even though its performance is far from performance of the real desktop PC. It has some kind of HDR support. Skin tones are not going to be red, so it's going to be watchable at least. Twice I had this. I have no idea what is this. It appeared, disappeared, and never appeared again. On a 15-inch model, recommended 125% scale feels not entirely nice to use. It seems cramped and not entirely fits on the screen as it's supposed to. But when I choose 100% scale, everything is small and I'm getting a nice train. In the same time, on the 17-inch model, 100% scale feels okay, everything is big enough to see, a lot of stuff fits on the screen. The moment I turned on the laptop, I felt lack of resolution. Those pixels, they're really huge. It feels like I can count them, every single one individually. In fairness, when I was watching movies or playing games, I didn't feel that lack of resolution at all. But while just browsing stuff or working, I noticed lack of resolution really bad. So, in general, those screens are sharp enough to watch movies and play games, but not sharp enough to do some work. But the resolution is not the problem here. The problem here is the display quality itself. Those displays, they're really bad. They're disgusting, horrendous, horrible panels. 17-inch model, it had a really bad glow. When I was watching movies with a, let's say, 21:9 aspect ratio, and those screens are 16:9, I was noticing this glow effect really bad. Slight movement of your head and part of your screen goes red. It is extremely annoying and breaks whole experience. It had a really bad backlight bleeding. And the colors, they're just dull, they're not vivid enough, they feel washed out. They feel really bad, not enjoyable, not happy colors, really bad colors, really bad backlight bleeding. And this glow effect, it's just unbearable. 15-inch model is better, not too much better, but still backlight bleeding is not so bad. Glow effect is slightly better, but colors also feel dull and washed out, as I said. I just didn't want to watch anything on these laptops because of display. I didn't want to game on it because those colors are not vivid enough. They're bad, they're washed out, blah blah. Those displays are bad. The thing is, it's going to be different from person to person. If all your life you was playing games on the oscilloscope, you're going to be more than fine with even the screens like this. But if you used something with a good screens like a Surface or a MacBook, you are going to notice. You are going to notice it instantly. Lack of colors, lack of resolution, that backlight bleed, that glow effect, and you are going to suffer. It is exactly the thing why I sold this laptop for good. The weird thing is that the guy I sold it to was really happy with the screen. He said, well, it's so nice, it's so bright, so vivid. I do not know what he was using before, that he says those screens are really good for him. But for me, those screens are pure garbage, complete trash, impossible to use. The screen is the thing you are staring on the whole time, and if the screen is bad, the whole experience with the device is going to be bad, no matter how great and fast or whatever this device is. If you are not happy with the screen, you are not going to be happy with device in general. The screen, the bad quality of the screen, the disgusting, bad, horrendous, trash quality of the screen can make the whole experience just a pure torture, and in the end you're just selling this thing only because of the screen. So I sold it for good, and I'm not going to buy anything with the screen like this ever again. I did not enjoy this laptop completely only because of the quality of those displays. So for 900 you are getting fastest laptop with this combination of CPU and GPU and a nice keyboard as a bonus. Is it enough though? Well, actually, for the right person, yes. But first, let's say who this laptop is not for. It is not for the people to whom portability is paramount. It is not for the people who want to utilize PCIe Gen 4 storage, and obviously it is not for the people who need or just want to have a nice, crystal sharp, beautiful display on the go. It is not for them. Who is it for then? I will say this. It is for the people who need or want a fast computer right now, but after seeing what's going on GPU market, they realized that building a PC right now is the worst idea ever. It is for the people who can bear subpar quality of the display or are going to connect this laptop to the external display anyway. It is for the people who want complete package out of the box. No need to build anything and worry that your nice $30 PC you just bought will fry everything the moment you turn your newly built PC on first time. And if something goes wrong, bring the whole thing to the store or just send for replacement. Just make sure to install every single driver available and update your BIOS, of course. As a bonus, it takes a lot less space than a conventional desktop PC. So 15-inch or 17-inch? I do not think someone should buy 17-inch at all. Well, it does have a card reader, but it has a far worse screen than 15-inch, and it is bigger, it is heavier, and it costs more. GPU is kept at 58 watts, and you have to flash VBIOS to fix this, but at the same time, you are losing your warranty. Keep this in mind. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is that as the time goes on, you can stumble upon issues with the display hinges or the keyboard when keys are just get stuck. But if you are going to use external monitor and external keyboard, it's probably not going to be an issue for you at all. But anyway, don't open and close it too often. The perfect person for this laptop is the one who brings it somewhere occasionally and usually just sits there on the desk, connected to the external monitor and external keyboard and external mouse or whatever, using this laptop as a desktop replacement basically. It still has some kind of portability. You are not tied entirely to one place. So just buy a 15-inch model if you can relate to what I've just said. And for the price difference between 17-inch and 15-inch models, just buy another SSD or an external monitor. In the end of the day, you have to enjoy your device. If you enjoy something, it's going to be a pleasure to work on it. But if you are not happy with it, even with a single part of it, the whole experience is going to be ruined. So it happened in my case. Just the display made the whole experience for me completely unenjoyable. Please click the like button and leave a comment below if you've got something to say. And of course, consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more in-depth reviews like this in the future. Thank you for watching.